Greetings and welcome back to Stellaris, my Commonwealth of Man playthrough. So I've decided to start construction of a generator district here on Elysium 2, and that reminds me we do need a new name for our conquered planets. This will be St. Natchbel. And our other conquered planet, Dultari 2, will be Leffingwell. But I decided to start the generator district here. It'll take 8 months, and in that time 2 of these servants will be switched over to work that. So I will be losing 8 amenities extra that I'm getting, but that'll still leave me with positive amenities. We might drop a little bit in stability, but we should still stay in the 30s at least. And I believe that's worth it because we are having an energy credit deficit. Not as bad as it's showing. This is due to me having just loaded the game, I believe. We'll see. I'm also going to go ahead and begin construction of a starbase outpost here in Corinth, though it will be a while before we colonize this planet. We have several existing colonies we have to get under control and get some minerals going, though this would also be a decent mineral planet, before we add more colonies. We just want the space controlled. And I think as soon as I gain a level with him, I might come back and do this anomaly. It would take him 4 years, but my level 3 scientist would only take 3 years. So gaining 1 level will knock an entire year off of that. And I figure I can spare 3 years, though I could also wait until I have a scientist having to head back this way. Hopefully by then they'll be level 4 or 5 and can do it in under 3. We'll see. So we are picking up a new life. A new life awaits our citizens in the off-world colonies. A chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity and adventure. With the help of an aggressive marketing campaign, the less fortunate elements of our society will be flocking to our colony ships. Now that is going to give us 10% pop growth speed. Next one we will be getting will cut down our influence cost for star bases even more. And then we could reduce our empire size from system and planets, which should get us back below 100.
Anomaly found.
Life signs have been detected coming from inside the atmosphere of this gas giant. Could it indicate the presence of some kind of biosphere? Yeah, I think after I get Kondra, or maybe I'll push on to Obatellis. After I get Obatellis surveyed, I will come back and research the anomalies in this system. Because by then I will have access to another choke point and I can wait on doing more exploration at that point.
Construction complete.
Alright, this will help a little bit with our energy credit deficit. Then I may head back to Valimar, because that extra alloy and more energy credits would be nice. I'm going to hold off on reinforcing this fleet. We're pretty close to getting the reduction in cost for corvettes, and I think I want a starbase next. I think I want to build up a starbase here in Caspadine and give it 2 trade modules so it can reach all of the systems that might potentially give us trade value. When I get a colony here, it would reach that one, and it'll just have a small chance for piracy along here, which shouldn't be too hard to stamp out.
Anomaly found.
More signs of precursor activity. It would only take her 3 years. We've already got a choke point right there. I'm kind of going to slow my development. I'm going to go ahead and research this right now with her. After successfully translating their language, we have established communications with the independent space station of the Covenant of the Shroud.
Permanent communications have been established with an alien empire.
Ah, a visitor. Welcome! We are the Covenant of the Shroud. Within this void-born hull, our coven communes with the forces incomprehensible to most mortal minds. We contemplate the secrets that lie hidden in dreams, reservoirs of untapped potential, the unseen gears driving whole civilizations. The shroud reveals much to those who would listen. At this moment I listen to you. What brings you to us? Do you yet know? Alright, it would take a lot of energy credits to get anything from them at this time, so we're going to hold off on doing that. Where are they located? Well, if we go to contacts, how did we get contact with them? They must have detected our ship. Yeah, they're that way. So that is the possibility right there for our ascension type to be psionic. Right now, I'm kind of leery about actually dealing with them. We don't know what they look like. They are likely some form of xeno and not human, and we are xenophobic. We have discovered a thriving ecosystem in the upper atmosphere of the gas giant Obeashoth 5, massive floating creatures having evolved bodies filled with lighter-than-air gases, follow the wind currents and feed off the energy released by the gas giant's frequent lightning storms. These beings in turn support colonies of smaller animals that prey on atmospheric plankton and each other. Fascinating. Through hard work and experience, Azizi has developed new skills. Research speed for particles. So we have an alternative physics scientist now. And he has reached level 3. So that means it would only take him 3 years to knock out that anomaly. But I don't want 2 of them tied up for 3 years at a time, so I'll continue doing the surveys with him, at least right now, to give me room for expansion. We're going to go ahead and shift St. Natchbull over from agriculture to energy. So let's switch it to a generator world. And go ahead and replace this agricultural district with a generator district. We have sufficient food from Unity now that we can spare losing these 2 workers.
Construction complete.
We're going to have to wait a few months before we can build this mining station, but that will really help out with our energy credits.
Science Division report success.
Standardized Corvette patterns. Establishing new standards for the modeling and construction of Corvettes greatly improves the efficiency of the production pipeline. Only a slight reduction in the cost, but a good speed increase, so it's going to make, when I get around to reinforcing these, a little bit even more efficient. I believe what we need is the geothermal fracking. We need more minerals from miners. We're still about 5 years away from administrative AI, almost 3 years away from planetary unification, and 8 years away from getting the geothermal fracking. We've detected the presence of a civilization in Obeashoth. They're in early space age, as evidenced by the many primitive satellites orbiting their homeworld. The nation-states are on the path towards joining together in a global government, and it is likely only a matter of time before they venture beyond their world and join the galactic community. Oh my! Another continental world! Let's see, they are about half of our power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We might need another army to deal with them. I'm low on minerals though. But let us launch our armies. and send them that way. I still have to claim the system, though, and merge up. You know, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and buy 100 minerals so I can begin churning out another army here on Tanab. Actually, wait a second. Leffingwell. We can get a slave army. Well, technically they're not slaves. It just says assault army. But we can turn our slave species into an army. And they are much more effective than our troops. So we'll get one of them churned out. It'll take 3 months. And then it's going to take... So that's going to delay 3 months the invasion, even if we do get over here and claim the system early. Our factions have begun to appear. A new faction has recently been gaining traction in the internal political landscape of the Commonwealth of Man, led by General Zug, or Zuj. They call themselves the Drumbeat of Victory Party. They have been pushing us hard for us to assert our military dominance over the rest of the galaxy. A disgruntled faction will be a source of trouble, but one that approves of the government's actions could prove useful. We also have the Grand Marshal leading a faction called Human Ascendancy Movement to assert the primacy of the human species by curtailing the rights of aliens if necessary. So let's check out our factions. We have full approval with our xenophobe and militarist faction. Supremacist factions wish for their empire's founding species to dominate. They push for policies that benefit their own species and disadvantage others. So we're getting bonuses by having a human Grand Marshal, by not being in a federation, by having invasive Xeno studies, disenfranchising the Xenos, having aggressive first contact protocols, and oppressive subjugation policies. The Drumbeat of Victory is an authoritarian and militarist ethos, an imperialist faction. Imperialist factions crave dominance within our own borders and over other empires. They thrive on rivalries and conquering other empires. They dislike relying on others. Right now we only have two options. The oppressive subjugation policy, which we have, and low naval capacity usage, which is making them have low approval rating. And we're going to be working on that, but it's going to take time to get our alloys built up to where we can build up our fleet. I'm going to hold off on building the starbase over Valimar. Since we do have a shortage of minerals, I don't want to have to invest a whole bunch of minerals into all of these bases right now. I need to get my mineral production, my consumer good production, and my alloys up first. Yeah, because I don't have the minerals at this point to do any investing in my colonies. Not until I get more miners around here. I'm about to have an extra colonist on Dawnlight, and I don't have a job for him, so I'm going to go ahead and move a human over here, because it'll happen within a few months, so we have an enforcer working in Leffingwell.
Recon pass completed.
Found a presentient species, mammalian life, on the desert world here. They are earthbound. More energy credits from jobs, more defense army damage. Alright, Transport Fleet 4 is ready. Let's tell it to merge as well.
Construction complete.
We've got a shortage of consumer goods. We've also got a shortage of energy credits, and we're already buying consumer goods, so this is going to be a problem. Civilian industries would take a year. We would run out of materials before then, and we do not have the minerals without buying more. Alright, we're going to need to sell some alloys. Let's add a monthly trade to sell alloys, 5 of them, should give us 25 energy credits. Oh no, it'll give us 10 energy credits, which would put us back positive. So I can afford right now to go ahead and buy. No, that will make our prices higher. We can't do that. We could up this a little bit though. Now, I don't want to be more than a third of this value, otherwise we'll slowly get price creep. A third of this value would be 15 or less. So let's up this, since we're down 5, to 15 a month. And see how that evens out right now, because I don't really want to drop my minerals. And we do need to get Caspadine to begin upgrading, because we will be able to get more energy credits when we start adding trade modules to this. Okay, that's something we can handle, because we've got 100 months we can go losing that many energy credits, and we'll be gaining more shortly. But the next thing we really need to invest in is more consumer goods, so that we can cut down on having to buy them. We'll go ahead and start adding a civilian industries here. It could pull up a couple of miners for now. We'll replace them eventually. We do have other places that are probably going to get surplus population. This one will have a replacement or an extra miner soon. In about a year, we'll have a surplus population here. In about 10 months, we have a surplus population we can shift over from St. Natchbel. And in about 2 years, we'll have a surplus population on Leffingwell. And the stellar culture shock has still got about 6 years. We found an archaeological site in Kondra. Beautiful bubble.
Construction complete.
Our star base is finally up and running. We need to add some trade hubs. And I can finally start on this star base in 2 more months, because we should get sufficient back to be able to build the other one before this one is done. Oh, we're not able to sell unless we have 5 to spare. We'll let it run for a month or 2 and see if it will correct. We'll lose a little bit extra energy credits for a bit, but that's fine. Yeah, now we've got a surplus again and can go back to trading. We're going to start getting low on food soon. So I think we should build another agriculture district here on Leffingwell. They don't currently provide much food, but this will be an investment for when they run out of the stellar culture shock. Yeah, right now they're just providing a little bit over base because of the low stability in stellar culture shock, but it's still food.
Anomaly found.
Gray goo. The planetary body Kondra 6 appears to be covered in some manner of grayish substance possessing strange properties and varying metallic composition. Go ahead and research that. It'll take 6 months. Speaking of taking 6 months, yeah, this is still only got like a month longer, so it is going to take a little bit longer to get our trade hub going, our second one, but the first one will collect 7 trade value. The next one will add another 6.
Construction complete.
I will go ahead and build the mining station and then get in position for the research station. And let's go ahead and take over this early space civilization. This is going to be another area that's probably going to end up costing me a lot of consumer goods and food.
All stored ground elements are dropping on target.
Hideous creatures, your visage sickens us. Yeah, this is going to be a close one, actually. Because they have double our power. I mean, double our troops, but our troops are a lot more powerful. Especially the 3rd Assault Legion. If we can get a couple of them knocked out pretty quickly, we may end up actually losing an assault army off of this.
Construction complete.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait a month to get the other trade hub up and running. Reach for the stars. The frontiers of our star nation are being pushed ever forwards. Soon, nothing in this galaxy will lie beyond our grasp. Oh yeah, they're tearing up our armies pretty quickly, unfortunately. We're spreading our damage a little thin. If we could get some of them to retreat, otherwise this could go poorly for us rather quickly. We need to get a couple of them out really quick. Alright, one of our armies retreated. This is not good. I don't want to lose my other army, so we are going to go ahead and retreat.
We failed to secure ground objectives.
And we are going to end up reinforcing this with another army from here. And another human army. And we'll do it from Tanab. Because I believe the armies we recruit of the Farine, oh, they're about equivalent. But we need an extra human army. We lost a human army. We want more, at least equal human armies to our slave armies. So yes, we failed to invade them. We did take out one of their armies and damage another, but I should have brought more firepower. Both of these armies are pretty beat up, but they'll heal, so we would just leave them in orbit waiting for these other armies we're going to churn out to get there. We've got an extra human to shift somewhere, and I believe we want to send them to Unity. From St. Natchbull, where we have a spare clerk. And we should get another at the same time we get our civilian industries up and running. I guess while I'm waiting, let's see what our piracy looks like. Now, right now, the max piracy, when we add the second one, there will be a chance for the max piracy to be in excess of what we can protect against. So let's go ahead and get an admiral. Let's get the fleet logistician. Leader has mastered the field of logistics and knows how to manage supplies to keep upkeep costs down, to kind of reduce upkeep a little bit on this fleet. We're going to lose the 25% reduction because we're moving away from a star base, so we need to keep some reduction. So, Dieter Mayer, we cannot afford for 2 more months. But we will go ahead and have this fleet begin patrolling. to there to keep the piracy down and just get a admiral when we can, which should be next month. All right, we can drop buying these right now, so we can drop selling those because we don't need the money. It took up the right people, so we still have are trying our best to maximize our miners. We're about to have a spare colonist here, so I will probably shift this one to Earth to work as a miner. Or rather, I will switch this one to Unity to work as a miner. Why are you unemployed? I think I just wasted some money. Resettle. No, Unity says it has an unemployed human. Why does it have an unemployed human? Because he was a specialist I moved. Ah, he has to demote. That is unfortunate. Did not think of that. I should have waited until the population grew and move an unemployed worker over instead. So let us resettle him back to Dawnlight. I wasted some money here. I need a worker to be able to transfer over. So yeah, I drained my energy credits from a very foolish mistake, but so well. So be it. After detailed analysis, Officer Azizi Nakwali has discovered that the strange metallic substance coating the surface of Condra 6 in fact comprises of billions upon billions of nanites. These nanites are microscopic, self-replicating micromachines, perhaps created by a past civilization for some unknown purpose. The volume and density of this nanite sludge is remarkable, adding billions of tons of mass to the underlying planet. It would appear these tiny self-replicators entered a state of runaway reproduction at some point in the past, engulfing the planet and everything on it. In studying the nanites, the crew has made some exciting new findings and will undoubtedly aid us in our own research. So we got nanomechanics for free.
Science Division reports success.
Advanced instrumentation allows for the study and practical application of physical systems at nanometric scales. And that one is 20% more engineering research, which should help us out. Now, that is also a potential L-gate insight that will pop up after we discover L-gates. We still need another month to be able to hire
Recon pass
an admiral.
completed.
So let's get an admiral for this fleet. Do we still have access to the logistician? No. We can get an eager recruit, one that is unyielding, or one that is aggressive. The youngest is actually the one that is unyielding. Bonus to hull points and weapon damage. I think we'll actually go with the eager one at this point, just because she is cheaper. Leader is particularly eager for an assignment, even though up there in age, I'm mainly getting them so that somebody's getting experience for stamping down this piracy. And actually, I'm going to change my patrol route since I can control this a little better. See, the problem with patrolling from a starbase to a starbase is while you do get to stamp out a little bit of piracy in the starbase system, because it does build up even though there's a starbase there for you. You can basically leave someone there and get experience if there is trade going through the system. It allows the piracy to build up in areas that can actually have a piracy breakout. Because after I travel to the gateway, I have to spend the time traveling to the center of this system. From this path right here is time that I'm not suppressing piracy somewhere where it matters. Whereas if I just do my patrol route from Tanab to Tybor, where it can break out, I'm still going to be suppressing the piracy when I come into the system and leave, and then I will immediately be suppressing piracy in another system that has piracy. So let's just go ahead and change our patrol to be from those two systems, so we will be keeping the piracy as low as possible, as quickly as possible. And Transport Fleet 6 is done as well, so we can send it to merge. And as soon as these two transport fleets, this one will take the longest at about a year. So in about a year, we can retry this invasion. And it looks like they've already replaced the army we destroyed. But we'll have 4 armies attacking them instead of just 3, 2 of them being our heavier hitters. With any luck, we should stamp them out a little faster. It might actually be a good idea to build up a few more. But I really need to start reinvesting in my colonies and get them to where my economy is a little bit more stable. All this is going to do is add more chaos to me, because I'm going to have people with stellar culture shock, and I'm going to have more drain on my consumer goods. Yeah, I need to get more buildings set up, but we do need to resettle that unemployed citizen on Dawnlight over here for now. We're actually starting to get a decent amount of energy credits for resettling at least. But we're going to need more jobs fairly soon. And we're about to get another influx of energy credits when this trade hub is completed. And I can go ahead and go back to reinforcing this fleet now. Now I can be selling food just to get my energy credit stockpiles up a little bit again. That works. It's going to take 4 months for them to get to the furthest point of my patrol. That's not too bad.
Construction complete.
And that should really help with our income of energy credits. I suppose I could open up a gas plant engineer, but that'll drain into my minerals. Yeah, I'm about to have 2 humans that need to move. I might end up moving them to Unity just to work as clerks. That's more trade value, more amenities on Unity. I may end up having to do that until I can get my minerals up to where I can start doing more development. And I'm actually going to go ahead and build this research station and then move here.
Science Division report success.
We finally have planetary unification. Ancient warring tribes, historical nations in conflict, now unified in empire. We must not, will not crumble. More edict fund. Hydroponics, which we don't really need right now, I don't think. Though I do have some star bases that have empty building slots. So I could put a hydroponics bay on there that could help with food. I don't think I really need that. The edict fund we'll go ahead and grab next. Because right now we don't have enough edict fund to run master's teaching. This will get us up to the point where we can, as long as our empire size doesn't grow too awfully much. So we do have access to the campaigns now, but we don't have the income to run them. Education campaign would be nice to get to max level quicker so that we can research these anomalies faster. Fear campaign boosts xenophobe ethic attraction and monthly unity. That's not too bad for us. And of course the recycling campaign would also be good since we are having consumer good issues. Yeah, our piracy could potentially break out if we allowed it to build up. The surface of Ofang Prime has identified the remnants of an ancient installation on the planet's surface. Most of the facility was wiped out in a massive explosion some 2 million years ago, but a few outlying buildings more or less survived the blast. All evidence recovered so far points toward this having been some sort of research base built by the First League.
New sitrep.
Now that should take 6 months. Yeah, each of these it creates should only take 6 months. So we will research that first, just to get that. That should give us a boost to some research or Unity. Now I could go ahead and temporarily add a trade for 5 of these. That'll only be 13 energy credits we're losing. So we'll still be positive 11 for now, which isn't too bad. And it will keep me
Anomaly found.
being in risk of a deficit. Monoliths. Impressive structures litter Obatellis Prime's surface, practically begging for some archaeological work. Go ahead and research that as well. Got an unemployed pop. Well, it says that unemployed pops it will automatically migrate to other planets. So we don't necessarily have to pay to migrate them off if they migrate on their own, but I would rather control where they go. So we will probably send them to Unity. In the meantime, I do need to begin construction here of more mining districts. It'll be 8 months before we get a mining district here. Let's see. Actually, we should probably build a district on Dawnlight first. It's going to get another population. This will save us from having to shift them off. We will do mining districts here on Dawnlight for now, because minerals is what we need. And we have a spare human to shift off of Leffingwell as well. So we need the unemployed person from Flaxington and the clerk from Leffingwell, or farmer from Leffingwell. Well, these unemployed, we'll go ahead and take this farmer anyway. I was going to say we could leave them unemploying the people with stellar culture shock because they can be servants, but I would rather fill out the clerks on Unity. That's going to be even more energy credits because it's going to boost our trade value, and give more amenities here on Unity, which will help out with other production. Still about 6 months away, or 5 months away from beginning to reattempt that invasion.
Construction complete.
Alright, we've got that research station. Still going to take about 11 years to get the research done for adaptive bureaucracy. Actually, that was 10 years. I was thinking 11 times 11 is 121. 12 times 11 is, or 10 times 12 is 120. So yeah, still 4 months at the closest point. So it doesn't really matter too much where they are. It takes about 4 months for the reinforcements to get to them, which is not too bad considering. We only have 6 more reinforcements we need to send there, then we can start working on another fleet. But we do need to get our naval size up to capacity a little bit faster, because our capacity is constantly growing. Right now we need a naval capacity of 60 to come close to our required naval coverage. Obatellis Prime is uninhabited and indeed uninhabitable, but not unvisited. Its surface is littered with tall cenotaphs carved from some mineral not native to the planet, evidently placed here by some artistically inclined spacefaring race. The monolith's flowing lines deftly chart a history so fantastical it must surely be fictional. Surely. That's a chunk of engineering research. I don't think it'll last the full 27 months. Well, yeah, that will last the full 27 months. Yeah, because 20 months would be about a little over 500. So yeah, that will last the entire time. We'll get geothermal fracking in about 2 years. About the same time we get administrative AI. Oh, what is this? Looks like we're not going to be able to push that way. We have an encounter in Emileto, the Sierra Bogies, and for some reason I did not pause. Okay, we got 3 first contacts at once. When we get 3 first contacts at once like this, we've encountered somebody in a Federation. It's either going to be a hegemony or a common ground origin. So we only really need to work on first contact with one of these. Let's see who is the easiest. They're all about the same. We will start with 2, because there is a chance we will get decent events with one and bad events with another. It's a shame we don't have a 3rd envoy. We could have all 3 running, because we have nothing else to do, but we have just encountered another species, and it looks like they're down this way. We're probably going to end up having to fight for control of this station eventually, but that means this is going to be another choke point to keep them on their section of the galactic arm.
Special project complete.
The archaeological expedition we sent to Ofang Prime has returned. Very little remained of the First League research base they were sent to investigate. But judging by its isolated location, we suspect that the research conducted there was of a dangerous nature, possibly involving dimensional travel or advanced bioweapons. A recovered data disk from the Academy of Sciences has offered some insights into how the scientific community of the First League was organized. So that is physics research. And that definitely should last a year. Yeah, that'll last us actually 20 years or 20 months. That will last 20 months, not 20 years. So that's almost 2 years. We will get double research speed, basically. All right, let's reattempt this invasion with four armies. If we can focus fire 1 or 2 of their armies, it will go very good for us. But if we keep spreading our damage around like we did last time while they focus 1 of our armies, it's going to go bad for us.
All sword ground elements are dropping on target.
And it looks like, once again, they're hitting one of ours pretty heavy. And we're spreading ours out. But we are damaging them fairly quickly. Now, unfortunately, they're going after one of our heavier hitters. So there is a chance we're going to lose that Assault Legion before they lose an army, but they have 4 that would collapse fairly quickly afterwards. I think it's worth the sacrifice of these slaves, even though 100 minerals was a pretty heavy investment. And now, instead of expanding, I need to focus on getting my fleet built up, because if these guys are in a federation and they decide to get aggressive with us, that is 3 empires worth of fleets versus my 1. I went ahead and bought 100 minerals so I could get started on a mining district here on Flaxington, because we are going to get another pop in about 10 months, so I need another place for population to go. And that will give me more minerals incoming so I can get more production gun. We need to get our colonies a little bit more developed, because we're going to need more industrial districts on Unity so that we can get both more alloys and more consumer goods. And I should be watching this fight. Yeah, we lost an army. They're about to lose. They've lost 1. They're about to lose 2 more. And now it should go heavily in our favor, now that we have more even odds. One of our armies disengaged. It was humans. Found a presapient species. Across the plains of Obatellis 3A, long, graceful creatures have been observed engaging in rudimentary forms of communication, cooperating with one another to find food and avoid the planet's predators. These reptilian beings may prove suitable for technologies intended to heighten the pace of evolution. It was a savannah world. And they are natural intellectuals. Not good at mining, good at research and unity, which means that they would make good specialists. Alright, we're going to pick up Courier Network. A network of small courier vessels is a reliable alternative for transporting VIPs or delivering messages that can't be trusted to FTL communications. This will tie our far-flung colonies more closely together. This will reduce our empire size from systems and planets. Systems and planets. The systems will drop at about 2.5 to nearly 3, but the colonies is going to be a huge chunk. That's going to be about 12.5 points. So we're getting about 15 drop in empire size. Yeah, exactly 15. Which is going to help quite a bit with the research and technology cost. Or the technology and unity cost. So it'll be another 4 years, 3.5 years, before we get our final expansion that will increase the number of districts on our planets and give us an ascension perk, as well as making it where we can go pick another one next. For some reason, there we go, I couldn't reselect the battle. Come on, come on, come on. This is going to be so close. I should have brought more armies. They are not disengaging. There is a primitive civilization on Ofang 4. It currently is experiencing the equivalent of a renaissance, having recently left the medieval age behind them. Scientific knowledge is spreading rapidly, and the armies of their petty kingdoms are equipped with crude gunpowder-based projectile weapons. That is an alpine world, so this will actually be our first observation post if we claim this system, because there's no point in invading a planet that we do not have good habitability on. Alright, once we get one of them gone, the other will collapse pretty quickly.
Ground objective secured.
Alright, we got them. And again, for 10 years, they will have stellar culture shock. This planet actually has some mining districts and agricultural districts set up. We have some available jobs to shift humans over to. Now, we do need to change it to where their species rights are currently domestic servitude, so that they are generating amenities while they're unemployed. And we need to get some humans over here. We have 2 clerks we could move off of Unity. And that looks like what we're going to do, is resettle 2 clerks from Unity. Actually, we can resettle 3 pop from Unity. Both clerks. And at this point, I can actually spare a technician, I think, to be the enforcer over here. And we do want to make sure we're going to have to let it advance a day. Or probably a month. Yeah, we're going to have to let it advance a month and make sure it's not growing our slave populations. Now let's have them land there for now. Yeah, I would rather grow humans here. And we are currently in a deficit of energy credits. Maybe I should switch a miner over to being a technician. We need the energy credits more than we need the minerals, as much as we need the minerals. And as a matter of fact, let's drop our trade of these for now. We can stand to lose 5 consumer goods a month for a little bit. There, at least we're positive on energy credits. We definitely need to get some more districts built. We could add another generator district here on Natchbull. We also need more food. Of course, once stellar culture shock wears off, these guys will produce more. But in the meantime, this planet can't develop further districts. It's at its limit of districts. Now the stability will go up if I have more humans here, because humans have a higher happiness, which is what your base population approval rating is based upon, their happiness. I mean, these guys have 90% happiness. The specialists have 85%. Adding more specialist jobs for humans will boost the stability on this planet more. So I might consider building a civilian industries over here. That will take care of my consumer goods and boost the stability on this planet. Instead of developing Valamar, I think I am going to head down here to develop this one so we can set up an observation post. By the time I get there, I should be just about done with Ofang, I think. Only a few more planets in this system. Yeah, 4. We're going to assign this one as a rural world and rename it to Doron.
Anomaly found.
Surface writing. There is significant scarring on the surface of this world in a pattern that cannot be natural. From orbit, the massive rifts look almost like writing. Go ahead and research that.
System reconnaissance completed.
Alright, we have finished the reconnaissance of Obatellis and are now heading back to investigate this other precursor civilization. It'll only take 3 years now that he is level 3. Now that we've got a decent supply of minerals, I could invest in an industrial district here on Unity. That would take 1.5 years, or actually I think it ends up being 1 year and 3 months to build. 1 year and 4 months. 1 year and 4 months to build an industrial district. I think that's worth it because we will not only get a little bit of consumer goods, 8 as a matter of fact, which should get us out of the deficit. We will also get alloys out of this, which will allow us to keep reinforcing our fleets a little more. Even though this world I could build a civilian industries on faster by about 4 months, I don't currently have population over here to work it. Whereas I'm about 6 months away from another person here on Earth, and we can always pull up some of the miners to work specialist jobs here on Unity. I keep saying Earth. But yeah, I think that is the way to go, is to build an industrial district here. And we're going to get another miner on Flaxington. And about the time we get the industrial district built, we'll have an extra miner on Dawnlight. And we're only about 2 years away, and 2.5 over here, from being able to switch these from their current slavery type to chattel slavery, which will boost their technician output. They'll also lose the stability penalty to the planet and the resources from jobs penalty. But the empire size from pops will jump quite a bit. And we will be able to shift them over to other worlds. So we can start shifting them to worlds to work other jobs for us, spreading around where the slaves are, so they're not all concentrated on a few planets, causing a huge amount of low stability because their approval rating is so low for us. They have such huge happiness penalties. So we would be able to move some slaves, for example, over to Unity, which would free up some humans to shift over to other worlds to help balance out stability. But it has been another 5 years. So thank you all for watching. and we'll see you next time.